Welcome back to Ahead of the Curve. I'm your host, Dr. Megan Teed. Today, I'm going to be talking about the healing power of water exercises for scoliosis patients. And I just love being in the pool this time of year. When I'm recording this right now, it is actually the first day of summer. It is June 21st. So things are heating up here in South Carolina, and thankfully my husband and we live right across the street from the pool in our neighborhood, and we frequent that pool quite often throughout the summer. And it's nice, I will say, as an aside, that makes me laugh, that swimming is something that is willy-nilly recommended to a lot of scoliosis patients as a solution for their scoliosis. And the recommendations that I'm giving you today, they are ways to move comfortably in the water, or just ways to move comfortably using the water. It is still so essential that you get gravity-based exercise, get to the point of doing gravity-based exercise, meaning you need to be walking on the ground and getting that resistance and getting the impact on your joints. You need to be lifting weights and building strength. So this is not something to be done in isolation. This is something to do either as a bridge to getting to the point of those things I just mentioned, walking and resistance training, or as a supplement, not a replacement. Okay. Now that my disclaimer is over, one of the things that I love doing in the pool is we have these little flotation devices, and I will link these in the show notes. But it's like a little hammock, and then I think I actually talked to Carrie about this a few episodes ago about how much I love these. And it has two like inflatable pillows at the end of the hammock. So you can actually use this raft like probably, I don't know, they advertise it as like 10 different ways. I only use it like 3 different ways, but one of the ways that feels really nice on your back is actually like wrapping it around your back, and then you have the 2 inflatable pillows under your armpits. And if you're in the deep end, you can kind of do a little bit of treading water, and it just feels nice to have that weightlessness on your spine. You can enhance that feeling a little bit if you have water weights that you can put around your ankles, and then that provides just like a little bit of gentle traction, and it can feel really nice. But I'm not going to be talking about just things that feel nice. I'm going to be talking about some benefits of water-based exercises. So, um, one thing that people love about being in the water is the fact that it's reducing the weight and reducing the pressure and stress on the spine. So you have that increased buoyancy and support. So it might let you go through a greater range of motion. It might feel like you are a bit more flexible and strong and can do more in the water. So that is something that you can use again as that bridge to, okay, let's say that you are experiencing a tremendous amount of pain right now and you still want to get some form of movement, some form of exercise. Getting yourself in the water is a good option to bridge that gap to doing exercises on land. Some of the science behind water therapy. So the water has a hydrostatic pressure, and this actually can affect the joints and the inflammation in the joints by improving circulation. So you have like that pressure from the outside of the water. Um, and then you're moving, so it increases that resistance, so it actually helps to reduce inflammation, which is really cool. And then when you are walking in the water, that provides a little bit of resistance as well. So you can go all different directions in the water, forward walking, backward walking, sideways walking, any way that you would like. And I'm going to recommend some specific exercises that you can do in the water. So, as like a little bit of a warm up, you can, like I said, you could do the walking all the different directions. You can actually do some jogging in the water and get your heart rate up. Doing like a burst of 30 seconds of running in place. Or you could do all those different directions that I was saying. You could do that jogging. I recommend going early in the morning when nobody else is around if you're going to be jogging, because it kind of creates a little bit of splashing. But you can do some jumping jacks, arm circles, and leg circles, and just some light stretching. So you can do some side bends. You can use your flotation device and do like a hamstring stretch or quadricep stretch. And then you can also do the next thing that you can do would be some core strengthening exercises. And my friend, she keeps telling me that I need to start teaching a class called Pool Lattes. So doing Pilates in the pool. And because I'm always doing exercises when we're hanging out at the pool. But you could do some water planks using your pool noodle, or you can use like the step at the edge of the pool. So you put your hands on the step, and then you either keep your feet on the ground and you hold the plank that way, or you can actually try and float your legs behind you and hold the plank that way. And that one actually requires a bit more core strength and shoulder stability. And I just love that one because the water's helping to support your spine and provide like a little bit of a lift, but then you can get a little bit more specific if you know your corrections and try and find those while you're holding the plank. A progression of that, you can do some knees to chest. So you can start like pulling one knee in at a time towards your chest without rotating. You could do some flutter kicks behind you. You can even do double knee to chest. And this is just helping to engage a little bit of your lower back muscles, your abdominal muscles. The other thing that you can do are some little rotations. And that is nice to do while you're in the pool because, again, it's taking the pressure off of your spine because you have that buoyancy of the water. So if rotation is normally uncomfortable for you, like it can be for a lot of people with scoliosis, this is a good opportunity to use the water to your benefit and experiment and play around with how comfortably you can rotate in the pool. And don't go crazy. Don't like try and crank yourself as you're rotating. Just nice rotations. And thinking about that rotation coming from the entirety of your spine, not just one segment, can be very helpful and can help you. Like it'll have a very good carryover to your everyday life. We always want to try to find that one pain-free repetition. I like to say Z Health actually talks about this a lot. And the reason you want to do that is because the brain, if you are a person who experiences a lot of pain, the brain will be like, oh, okay, like, so I can do that motion without experiencing pain. This is safe. So, um, working towards that and using the pool to your advantage can help you get that one pain free rep. The next thing is working on your spinal alignment and posture exercises, kind of like at the pool at the side. So you find the side of the pool and you can kind of do like a wall squat almost, because you still want to have your feet on the ground of the pool, the bottom of the pool, and you can lean back against the wall and line up, have your hips back against it, your ribs, and your shoulders, and just see how well you're able to get everything aligned. And then you can kind of move once you're in that position, sliding up and down the wall. Um, when people do this on land, which means you're probably going to end up doing this in the water too, meaning like lining yourself up with a wall, people tend to flare their ribs forward. Sorry, I was just yawning. They tend to flare the bottom of the rib cage forward so that there's like a big arch that happens in the lower back. So if you are doing this exercise, a couple things I want you to challenge yourself with are, first, trying to get the right and the left side of the rib cage to touch the wall equally. Try and get the right and the left side of your pelvis to touch equally to the wall. And then also, returning to the rib cage area, you want to try and get the bottom back of the rib cage against the wall. Okay. And when you are able to start doing that and making that contact, try and carry that over to land. Because what that does is it helps to decompress your spine a bit. It helps to improve your breathing capacities, your rib expansion. The back bottom of the rib cage gets really smushed. And that's from all the sitting we do, and the sitting we do in weird ways. So that can be a really cool challenge to try in the water first. And then to progress that, you can do your walking in the water, focusing on your posture. So having the water about chest deep, and then you're walking and thinking about, if you know your Scoliosis corrections, practicing those while you're walking. And that, again, that helps to reinforce more of a centered alignment, centered posture in a low impact environment like the water. And then some fun things, not that these weren't fun, but I personally love these, is working on your balance and coordination in the water. So this, in some ways, can be a little bit more challenging depending who's in the pool with you. This could be more challenging in the pool than on land, just balancing on one leg. So you have the support of the water. So in that way, it could be really helpful. But if you have kiddos playing in the pool and it's creating like a little bit of that wake and that resistance, it's actually challenging you a little bit by giving you some perturbations while you're trying to balance. Doing the side steps, you can even do some crisscrosses while you're walking in the water, and that helps to improve your coordination a little bit. So like if you step to the side, you can cross, I think it's called the karaoke. So start at one end of the pool and you step out with let's say you're at the left side of the pool, you're going to step out with your right foot, and then you'll take your left foot and cross it in front, and then step out to the side with the right foot, and then step the left foot behind, and then keep doing that the whole way down the length of the pool, and then doing it again on your way back. And that is a really fun way to challenge your coordination. You can even do this with some friends. So, a little example of a water exercise routine. You can warm up for about 5 minutes with the water walking or jogging. Then you can move on to your core strengthening. Do 3 sets of the water planks, trying to hold them for 30 seconds each. And then doing some flutter kicks, 3 sets of 15. And then moving on to the rotations, 3 sets of 10 each side. Then we're moving on to the posture exercises, 3 sets of the wall sits or wall glides. You can either do that like sliding up and down, or you can challenge yourself and hold those wall sits for 30 seconds. Or I make my clients, I don't make them. Our goal is to hold those wall sits for about 2 minutes. So you could challenge yourself with doing that. And again, you could do that with some friends. And then you can move on to 5 minutes of that focused water walking, maintaining your corrections. And then finally, moving on to your balance exercises, doing 3 sets of single leg balance, so just standing on one leg. You can even try to do 3 sets of 10 of standing up and down. Like if you have the little steps in your pool, you can sit on the step and try and stand up from that step just using one leg and doing that 10 times each side as well. And then you can do your karaoke or karaoke with those side steps, working on your coordination. So, and then you finish up with that wonderful floating and relaxation with the pool float that I'm going to link. I don't have an affiliate code for that or anything, so don't worry, I'm not making any money off it. I just love these floats. So if you end up trying those out, let me know. And if you end up trying out any of these exercises, let me know. If you enjoy pool therapy, it's a lot of fun. When I did travel PT for 3 years, and I was out in California in Santa Barbara, I worked at this hospital. It's called the Cottage. Most beautiful hospital I've ever seen. It's like a hotel. And they had this outdoor heated pool, and it was covered with like a wood awning almost, and that had flowers on top of the awning. Oh my gosh, it was just so pretty. But I used to be able to take my patients out to the pool in the middle of the day. And, I wanted to do pool therapy with every person I could, because who doesn't want to hang out in the pool outside in Santa Barbara, California? So all of these exercises kind of bring me back to those days. And gosh, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's been over 10 years. So all right, I just went off on a little tangent. That is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you made note of a couple of tips and tricks and things to try if you love pool therapy. Again, this is not a replacement for your land exercises. This is a supplement or a bridge. Until next time, stay well and stay ahead of the curve.